Oh, there it is.
Welcome to Big Boy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. My name is DC. This is Around the Blockchain. We come to you Monday through Friday, 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about your favorite topics with your favorite guests. And we have a never-seen-before panel today, so we're going to get right into it and see what is next. And we're going to start with the Queen of Hex, but don't you dare call her a maxi, because she will get vexed. I'm talking about Nerdgrl, of course. Always great to have you on. Thanks for coming back. Then on the bottom left, we have Miss Teen Crypto. She always keeps it zesty. This channel, we do consider her a Betsy. Will she win today's episode? Well, let's see. Then on the bottom left, we have 19 keys. I'm not talking piano. I'm not talking Alicia. I'm talking about the things needed to buy that Bitcoin pizza. 19 keys, also the 19 keys, the fundamentals to success. Then on the bottom left, yesterday he tasted victory. He'd never taste failure, but he just got rug pulled by his good friend Michael Saylor. It is Ben Armstrong. But today we're talking about the Nomad hack. Also, yes, Michael Saylor just stepped down. This was breaking literally minutes before we were getting ready to go live. And also, Gucci accepting ApeCoin. Is it going to pay off for either party? We'll see. But before we do that, let's dive into the crypto market, see where things are heading. Looks like mostly flat today. If you recall yesterday, we were saying look at Bitcoin just hanging above that $23,000 level. Today, fast forward 24 hours, still just hanging around that $23,000 level. Ethereum down, to 1650, but up on the 24, 1.25%. Ben, I'm going to bring it to you first. We're seeing just largely flat. A lot of the metrics, when you say, okay, it's a bear market, we're just going to trade sideways. But when you look at those bear market numbers, there's plenty of 50% gains to be had. We look at Ethereum, and over about 2 months, it gained 100% for about 850 to 1700. What are your thoughts on the bear market? People see it's boring. Should they DCA? Should they wait for that 17, 18? What do you recommend to people during this boring time?
Yeah, I definitely think dollar cost averaging is a good thing, and this is why people know where we stand. I believe there's more bottom. I believe that we see more downside. I believe we see $10,000 to $14,000, somewhere in that range, maybe 15, maybe 9,800, whatever it is. We believe we see that by the end of November, beginning of December, possibly even in January. But we're not 100% right all the time. We're right about a lot of things. We've been right about a lot of time frames. We haven't really been right about a lot of numbers, so take that for what it's worth. And I would say because of that, we're definitely open to the fact we're wrong. We're open to the fact that there definitely could have been a bottom. You want to protect yourself by starting to dollar cost average in, or you don't have to dollar cost average in even. I mean, you can take a portion of your capital and put it in, at this point. It doesn't mean it's going to be the best price. It does mean, though, that there's a chance it's the best price. That there's a chance it's going to be the lowest that's going to go, or 17 was the lowest it's going to go, and now it's going back up. But ultimately, I do think everybody's going to make their own financial decisions, but you'd never want to go all in at one price point. That has not been a good strategy. I think we've got plenty of bear market left here, at least a few more months. Guys, think we're already almost to fall. Like, we're in August now. Well, I guess we're still 6 weeks away from fall or so, but we're in August now. Fall comes at the end of September. We're moving to quarter four before you know it. And this thing's almost over, guys. Like, that's what's cool. This bear market, in my opinion, is almost over, even if there is more downside. We got a few more months left, potentially. But we're going to start going up at some point. I think people got to be careful about the volatility. Don't get too hopium on this. Don't think all of a sudden we're going to go back up to new all-time highs next year. It's probably not happening. But just everybody needs to, come up with their own little investment strategy based on, your research.
All right, good point there. And like you said, Q4, not that far away, less than 2 months away. We're about to be in Q4. This time has been flying by. But let's talk a little about this hack. Yes, another bridge was exploited. This is the Nomad Bridge protocol. This was allowing people to swap between AVAX, ETH, GLMR, EVMOS, and Milkamita C1 blockchains, and yet again exploited for hundreds of millions of dollars. This one was a little bit different than past hacks. Instead of, you would just think, oh, the Lazarus group, we have one attacker, one person exploiting hundreds of millions. The original hacker looked like they only stole about $2.3 million. And then everybody was able to copy the way that they stole the money, leading to dozens upon dozens upon dozens of wallets, ending up stealing hundreds of millions of dollars, approximately $190 million in wrapped ETH, USDC, and wrapped Bitcoin, as well as a few other tokens. Essentially, it was allowing people to cash bad checks. You could sign a transaction. It would allow you to withdraw without checking to see if the deposit was matching with the withdrawal. People just exploiting. Now, Nerdgrl, look at this, $190 million. With these past hacks, we've seen the law enforcement agencies go after the people, sometimes even find the people. But this time it's over dozens of people. Many users were able to run away with the funds. Do you think that's going to change who gets persecuted here? Are people going to get away with it this time, you think?
You know, what law enforcement is going to do is like definitely not something that I can realistically comment on. Early in when I got into cryptocurrency in like 2016, I made a bet thinking that I knew what the SEC was going to do with about allowing a Bitcoin ETF. And that was the first lesson that I learned was like, absolutely don't gamble on what you think the government will or will not do. I have no idea who will be prosecuted, if anyone will be prosecuted. But I do know that bridges are the most common attack vector in cryptocurrency. So it like makes sense that people should take measures to protect themselves from that attack vector.
Yeah, and like you said, never guess what the government's going to do unless you're Mr. Pelosi. All right, moving on. We see some investors in this bridge. They just did a raise in April. They raised $22 million for a $225 million valuation. OpenSea, Coinbase Ventures, Crypto.com Capital, and Polygon. So we're not talking about unknown entities. We're talking about major players in the crypto space here. Miss Teen Crypto, they just invested $22 million of their own money at this insane valuation. Do you think they'll ever recoup that $22 million, those four investors I just listed?
Man, I do not know, DZ. I am pretty shocked that this even happens, to be honest, especially with these type of entities entering the space, entering, with Nomad. I'm surprised that this even went down. My question is, if this was such a copy and paste thing for, people to exploit Nomad, then how was this missed? And maybe are these investors learning their lesson here from maybe not doing enough research into the team and maybe their capabilities? I'm just very shocked that this even happened. I don't know how something that could just easily pass somebody by just slipped away, and then it wasn't even stopped while the hack was happening. People were just exploiting, and now with the other past hacks in the past, now we have law enforcement involved. Does a lot come out of that? I'm not really sure. But if I were these entities, I would be questioning my next investments for sure, especially during this bear market.
Yeah, now's not the time. Now, I believe that it was a recent update allowed this exploit. Now, 19 keys, it looks like a lot of the people who ran away with the funds were actually the community members within the Discord. The news had spread how the exploit happened, and the own community members involved in this project did not hesitate to, take part in the looting. Does that surprise you that the community members just, decided to attack what they support? Or is that, since it's Web3, a lot of anonymity, is it not surprising at all? What do you think here? Muted. You might be muted there.
Everything is new in this space. So to say what's surprising, I would have to actually be able to compare and contrast different moments in time. But the way I see it is that, it's definitely a dangerous thing, because one thing you want to assume with law enforcement, anything of that nature, is the worst case scenario, that they will try to track you if you steal something, and or even with all the things that you all talked about. And when you look at, a community hack, right? That's essentially like seeing somebody rob the bank and thinking you can steal some money that's on the ground, right? Or seeing a Brinks truck, money fall out on the highway, and then you go and grab yours, right? If you caught on camera, or it's a way that they can track you, then they'll still persecute you. So you got to be careful anytime, especially in a situation where they have all of these different ways where they can track wallets, right? The most dangerous thing about this, I think, is the fact that the CEO was just tweeting about how secure it was, right? And that in earlier reports that they had stated that this type of situation was actually possible. So I think it's dangerous when you got new technology such as these bridges and you got $200 million plus that's put in there. And I think there should be a lot more testing before it's a lot of money that's allowed to be put into some of these, more, I think, experimental things, because this is still in the experimental phase, but they playing with real money.
Yeah. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars, nothing to scoff at. That's enough for every American to receive $10,000, if my math's correct. We're gonna,
but
of course,
people should know the difference between when there's a bridge hack and when there's a token, because a lot of people think that this is the same thing, and so as soon as they hear about hack, then they think of all of them in the same way. And these bridges are some of the softer targets to go at in this space.
And I think of Hack-a-Shack, the defensive, paradigm. But all right, that was for you, Ben. I'm glad you laughed. All right, but hey, get your crypto off these bridges. Just be careful. If you want to know more about hardware wallets, we have some great links on our website, bitboycrypto.com. So check that out. Just be safe out there, people. That's really what I mean to say. But let's move on and talk Michael Saylor. Like I said, this news was very, very breaking right before we went live. We can see here, I have the tweet from Michael Saylor. Please join the management team at 5 p.m. happening right now. They are discussing their Q2 2022 financial results. We go to this. There's a couple key points I wanted to share, and you can see it right here. As of today, August 8th, 2022, Michael Saylor will assume a new role of executive chairman, and Phong Le, I believe I'm saying that correctly, the company's president, will step up as the new CEO. And as a member of the board of directors, Saylor remains chairman of the board and an executive of the company. I'd share this real quick as well. This is from him. I believe splitting the roles of chairman and CEO will enable us to better pursue our two corporate strategies. First, acquiring and holding Bitcoin, and second, growing our enterprise analytics software business. Ben, you're the only one, I believe, that has talked to this man several times on the panel. Is this surprising to you? I never would have thought this man would step down as CEO. I thought he'd be CEO 20 years from now. Do you think he's still going to be pulling strings in his new role, or is Phong Le going to be running the shots now?
I would say I think the only thing more surprising than this is the fact I got him to laugh 3 times in one interview.
We were surprised.
We were surprised. Everyone was surprised. But the fact is that when it comes to Michael Saylor, I wonder if, now there's a little conspiracy here. I'm just going to throw it out there, a little conspiracy here. But that maybe Michael Saylor moving aside will keep the people that were coming after him from coming after him, trying to liquidate him. Because he was a strong target. We saw what happened to Three Arrows Capital. People said I could never get down that low. And then where did it go? Went right down there. People were hunting their positions and trying to liquidate them. We do know there have certainly been people out there that do not like Michael Saylor, that want to embarrass him, who have been, trying to get him past his liquidation points. He had to add at 21,000 a lot more his position. I think he got it all the way down to $7,000. But guys, fact is, it's possible Bitcoin can go down to $7,000. Is him moving out of the spotlight going to be enough to keep people from coming after him in that respect? I was just talking to Crypto Savvy on Twitter. You guys know where he thinks it's going. He thinks it's going all the way down to 3,000. That would be bad news for Michael Saylor. And a lot of this space is driven by personalities. And I think him stepping down as CEO, look, guys, it's really impossible for me to speculate on what this means and what it's going to look like, because literally while we're right now doing this show, they are on the call. It started at 5 p.m. Eastern. So I know DZ mentioned that, but we're going to have to see what the results of this are here in a little bit before we actually make determinations of what we think this means. But overall, I don't think it's good. I mean, I don't think it's good for MicroStrategy. I mean, Michael Saylor is the face. I think Michael Saylor is, if not the most followed person in Twitter, on crypto Twitter. He's up there, maybe Plan B may have more followers than him, but it's close. So it's something we definitely got to watch. He's very influential in the space.
All right. Speaking of influential in the space, Miss Teen Crypto, a lot of your content, you're onboarding new people who don't have exposure to Bitcoin. You teach them, here's how you set up your wallet. Here's your secret seed phrase that sounds scary, but really isn't. Do you think in his new role, will Michael Saylor serve more as a vocal proponent of Bitcoin? Will this free him up to make more appearances on CNBC and Fox Business News and, do the big CEO telecom conferences where he's talking to 500 CEOs? Will he be doing more of that now or less of that?
I was actually thinking he would do more of this. I think maybe him stepping down might not be as great for MicroStrategy overall, but it could be good for the space because now he could focus more on education. I mean, after Jack left Twitter, for example, he was just going off in the Bitcoin and crypto space, just trying to do more with the blockchain. I think maybe the same could happen for Michael Saylor. I don't see why he wouldn't want to expand on Bitcoin, especially because MicroStrategy is very much riding on Bitcoin, and they're doing a lot with it, and they really want this technology to explode and progress. So it would only make sense for him to go more into Bitcoin and try to educate more people. At least I hope that's what he's going to do, considering that he is a very important voice in this space.
Yeah. MicroStrategy is buy some crypto.com Crow token during the bear market. And also, shout out to Crypto Crow. Crypto Crow has a new drop. Nerdgrl, I think when we think of Michael Saylor, we think Bitcoin maxi. Now, you've been, I would say, unjustifiably given the maxi label. I've seen the arguments on the Twitter spaces with you and people mad at you that you don't like that, that certain hexagon. What are your thoughts on the whole maxi good, maxi bad? Do you think that Michael Saylor gets a little bit of a pass because he's a Bitcoin maxi and kind of championed by Jack Mahler and the other Bitcoin, even Francis Suarez? You have these politicians who are leaning in the maxi side. Is this a fight that is slowly going to go away, or as more money's involved, is it just going to get more ferocious? Where do you see the term maxi moving forward? Is this getting better or worse?
Well, so since I found out that a lot of Bitcoin maximalists and Bitcoin enthusiasts really take offense to the shortened version of the term maxi, I've done my best not to use it, just because I try to always say maximalist, which by itself is sometimes negatively connoted, right? But I don't think that maximalism is really going anywhere. I do think it serves its purpose in that when you're not trying to chase the next shiny object, you don't lose sight of what you originally thought was your good investment or your golden ticket. I don't know if kind of building on what Ben was saying about crypto conspiracy theory. I had a thread this week with Adam Back involved, actually, where we were discussing the possibility that Michael Saylor is sort of in place as a Bitcoin maximalist because central banks may have taken control of Bitcoin. And so they want that maximalist narrative to continue. So, I'm not saying that is the case or that isn't the case, but it's definitely worth considering that that's a possibility.
Juicy. Never really. Hey, that's a good theory. I like that. All right. 19 keys.
Can I say one thing? I will tell you, I have been told that's true for a long time. I haven't talked about it on the channel because I don't want to really push that narrative because I don't have proof. But I've been told that is potentially true and has been since the very beginning. So I'm not putting that allegation out there. I'm not saying it's my opinion, but what you're saying, I've heard that same thing for about a year.
Okay,
interesting. I've heard similar things, not just about Saylor, but about other well-known people in this space. And again, I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that theory exists. There is some reason to at least consider that it's a possibility.
No, I think it's intellectually honest to discuss all possibilities for sure. Now, 19 keys. Let's kind of talk about the strategy behind MicroStrategy. Obviously, accumulate a lot of Bitcoin and just keep accumulating. A year and a half ago, it really seemed like we had some momentum. Tesla was jumping in. It felt like the first dominoes were falling. Then, as the price just started to go down, we've seen a stalling. Now, these are the best capital allocators in the globe, apparently. Yet they're not cheap, they're not scooping up the cheap sats. Will this strategy continue, or is it a dead strategy that maybe needs to just retire, could come back in 5-10 years? But do you see any corporations, Fortune 500, purchasing any Bitcoin the next, say, 12 months, 24 months?
Not with the same philosophy previously. I think that the ideas of being in that space was much better when we're in the bull markets. When you're seeing it go up, it's easier, I think, to convince the boards that we should accumulate this Bitcoin, hold it on our sheet, you understand me, and work to win long term. But we're in a different space economically, especially when you look at macroeconomics and what's going on in the world. We're in a war of currencies. So a lot of people are looking at the trajectory of the world and trying to decide if this is dangerous or not. And because there's so much uncertainty, like we can say something today and then monkeypox can pop out and that can have maybe an effect. Who knows, right? We looking at what's going on with China and Russia, with them exploring currencies together, that can have another effect. Then we got inflation, hyperinflation possibilities. There's so many scenarios that they have to factor in. And with the possibilities of stagflation happening, companies are trying to figure out, number one, how do we, it's the same strategy. I think when you go invest in Bitcoin, it's supposed to be a hedge, right? Number one, but when companies not seeing it as a hedge, they can't pitch that same philosophy, right? And even with Micro Saylor or MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, I think, he's definitely a Bitcoin evangelist. You understand me? He pitches it tough, but I think that it's important possibly that you have a separation between church and state. His evangelism for Bitcoin and them being able to focus on the company, because you only see him talking about Bitcoin now and crypto, and you don't see him pushing the narrative of his company, right? And I think that can affect the profits and having them over relying on crypto rather than actually trying to increase their bottom line to be in the black from a company standpoint. Because as they're spending money on crypto and they're down, they have to continue to accumulate. In order to accumulate, you need more capital. In order to get more capital, you need more money, right? So all of these things have an effect, and they are essentially a case study. Not only them, but with Elon Musk having to, liquidate some of his position. All of these companies will follow Elon Musk and Michael Saylor, right? So I think that if an opportunity opens up that changes the narrative, then it's going to make sense. But I think that these companies are being very watchful to try to figure out what is the cycle right now for crypto. Then they're going to make a look and to make a decision whether we want to be on that next frontier of taking that risk.
Yeah, and a good point. I mean, we all know it's MicroStrategy does enterprise business software, but I couldn't tell you what that means. I did want to share this. Looking back, this is from I Like Pool 2 Twitter. Looking back, I think Fong Lee's a great pick for CEO. At least he knows when to dump his MicroStrategy shares near all-time high. Great trader. So, back to a capital allocator. It looks like they did choose correctly there. But yeah, let's move on and talk a little Gucci, not the Atlanta-based Raptor. We're talking about Ben's favorite clothing company and Richard Hart's, I believe, as well. It looks like I actually have the tweet here, just went out 7 hours ago. Now accepting ApeCoin payments via BitPay, select Gucci boutiques in the U.S., expand the range of cryptocurrencies. Yet another step in the house's exploration of Web3. They previously included Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, I didn't mean to say it that way, Doge, Sheeb, and multiple stablecoins. Just added ApeCoin, and this is going to be in Los Angeles, New York, Miami, ATL, and Las Vegas. This is, of course, coming hot off the heels of Tiffany announcing they're going to be releasing 250 CryptoPunk pendants. It comes with a gold chain. So we're seeing these fashion houses, we're seeing these high brands definitely moving into Web3 much, much faster than I would say about any industry out there, except maybe tech. Now, Nerdgrl, a lot of people, myself included, at least a month ago, 2 months ago, they consider Ape a meme coin. First, do you consider it a meme coin as well? And can Ape do anything to get people to stop thinking them as just a meme coin?
Well, I mean, I would say it definitely is a meme coin, right? But just because it's a meme coin, that's not like an insult. Like, look at Doge, right? So Doge is the original meme coin. And then, it's now been adopted so widely that it's probably been more discussed in mainstream media than Bitcoin, or at least rivals Bitcoin. And you can use it to buy, Tesla goods at other stores that accept it. So I don't know that they really need to do anything to like push the narrative that it's anything more than a meme coin. I mean, meme and payments. I guess the real question I would have would be like, Ben, you going to buy some apes so that you can buy more Gucci tracksuits, or, what do you think?
Ben, you're muted. Ben, I'll take it to you though. First, Are you going to buy some Gucci tracksuits in the Atlanta store? But
Okay,
also, well, I want to ask you about the market cap as well. We see ApeCoin, it's sitting at 31. Had a healthy week. It's up 20%. It's above VeChain, above Filecoin, above Flow, above ICP. That's who it's above, not let alone who it has to pass to, say, get in the top 20. Is ApeCoin going to be, say, a top 20 coin next bull run? But yeah, we all want to know, are you buying more Gucci?
I'm definitely buying more Gucci. I love Gucci. I think it's great. I was actually on a Rodeo Drive while I was out of town in LA. I was like checking out some stuff. I didn't buy anything, but what I would say is this: Richard Hart is much cooler than me. Much cooler than me. It's not even close. Well, I don't know why you laughed. I'm being serious. Richard Hart is me if my shame meter were broken. So he has no shame, and I do. So that keeps me from being him. And I think that when it comes to tracksuits, I don't like the tracksuit pants. I will not be wearing tracksuits anymore. I like the jackets. I like wearing the jackets with jeans because I like to feel like the things are not going to fall out of my pockets. And the tracksuit, there's no zipper. If you got to go into the bathroom, it's a full pull down. I don't know if I like that. So,
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, now I know. Now I know. Yeah, go ahead. Talk about
ApeCoin.
ApeCoin.
My gosh, I was just making a point. I mean, my God. So here's
What's
You talk about when you pull your pants. Making a point.
well, yeah.
At least it's not a romper.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to look
That's
like
what it sounds like.
I will tell you this,
No.
when you were a kid in kindergarten, there was always that one kid in the bathroom that would pull his pants all the way down the urinal. You don't want to be that kid. That's what I don't want to be. I'm just, the kid, DZ. You went to elementary school. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody made fun of that kid. You got to teach your kid how to use a zipper, folks. Teach your kid how to use a zipper. Okay, so back to what's serious. Let's get to the serious meme coin, ApeCoin. I do believe it has potential to be top 20 coin. I think it has potential at some point to peak into the top 10. Now, when I say peak into the top 10, I mean minus stable coins. In a bull run, a lot of these stable coins will fall out of the top 10, like BUSD probably, some of these other ones, because you start getting just higher market caps and money's coming out of the stable coins and into the crypto markets. But I mean, Tether and USDC, they maintain top 10 for most of the bull run. We didn't get as high as we wanted to. I would have liked them to move down to 6 and 7 or lower. But ultimately, if you take the stable coins out, I think ApeCoin definitely has a potential to be a top 10 coin. I don't think it'll stay there through the whole bear or bull market, but it's just got so much going on and so much marketing hype machine behind it that I think it does have that kind of potential. It's definitely one on our list to try to, potentially accumulate. Maybe, not one we want to hold long term yet, but, definitely take some profits in the bull run. I think there's going to be a big opportunity. I think we're going to see a total resurgence of NFTs. And the thing is, with crypto, we're constantly adding people that are hardcore crypto people and won't leave. The NFT world is the same way. There are people that are coming in the NFT world that will stay no matter what, and that keeps some of those floors from getting down to, previous prices.
Yeah, it's like Ken Bossack. You're always going to see him. You're always going to, no matter how bad the bear market is, he's going to be on stage at NFT NYC. Now, Miss Teen Crypto, speaking of Ken here, now that Gucci has started accepting ApeCoin, do you think that other retailers are going to possibly follow suit? We saw Old Navy actually sell Bored Ape merchandise, and other retailers have done the same, but they're not accepting Ape. Will that change anytime soon?
I don't see why not, because even I believe it was the Mavericks were accepting Doge. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't Gucci accept Ape and all of these other places accept Ape? I really think we're entering a very new era where we're really embracing cryptocurrency and NFTs in different ways. I'm really excited to see more of these coins being used as payments because it just opens up adoption. I mean, even this news, people hearing Gucci accepting what coin? Ape? What's ApeCoin? Then they jump into cryptocurrency. They start understanding how that works, and they jump into Bitcoin, see how the differences are and how they could really fit into this space and why Gucci is really making these moves. I think it's absolutely genius. I'm very excited for it, to be honest. And I do see maybe, they said this is another step in Web3. Maybe NFTs are next for them. Maybe there's an Bored Ape collab. I wouldn't be surprised, especially because, Tiffany with, the CryptoPunks collab, Gucci, Bored Ape collab. You never know. I think this is opening a lot of doors, and especially within the traditional fashion space, because I do see fashion being a critical part of crypto as well, because you got to verify supply chain. It would be cool to verify where your Gucci bag came from, no?
Yeah, no, definitely would. As long as they don't collab with Lil Pump. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. I can't stand that guy. But all right, you know what? He's fine. If you like him, that's cool. I like you too. All right. 19 keys. Let's talk about, you know, these retailers. Why are they, you know, offering this service? One, you know, crypto, very nascent industry. Not that many people have ApeCoin, if we're going to be honest here. And there's wild fluctuations in these crypto prices. They could buy, you know, accept this ape right now, $6.50. Wake up tomorrow, it's $5. It happens on a Friday. Maybe the CFO isn't going to do the swap on, you know, on chain until Monday morning at 8 p.m. Why do you think these retailers are accepting this crypto?
Because it's dangerous to ignore it. I think that larger than the crypto space, just the block space, or what I like to call the block market. You understand me? And the block market is all things that correlate with the blockchain, everything that's on it. So when you start talking about Web3 or just even the idea of Jack Dorsey's Web5, number one, it's like if you go to Prada right now, they give you a verification card, a physical card, and on the back of it, it said that this product is connected to the blockchain, right? If you ask the employees there, they're going to say, we don't actually know what this is. But that means the higher ups are already start implementing things in there and experimenting with ways to be able to verify merchandise and things of that nature. So they fully understand that the business models of the future are going to have to be on the blockchain, right? The currencies of the future. And then it's not too many issues when it comes to worried about the fluctuating prices, because you can receive a cryptocurrency and you can create protocols to where it transfers it possibly to a stable coin or possibly even to USD, right? So that's something that they can get over. But also what it does is it adds them into another cultural space. When they seeing people with cryptocurrency got some money, or you got some ApeCoin in your wallet, well, here's a utility. You got to just sit in there, right? And you may want to utilize it as an option to be able to purchase something here over at so-called Gucci, right? Or any other of these retailers. So, of course, more and more will be adopted into the future. I think that, you know, sometimes the space get ahead of utility. And now that people are starting to measure these projects based on future business models, ways to be able to accept money, and also in how to embed them into these other cultures, because crypto and NFT and blockchain has its own culture. And let's be honest, you know, most people in this space don't know how to dress. So maybe Gucci can get some people fly. Maybe they can get on some Dapper Dan or something. I like that. So, you know, everybody not blessed with the fashion appeal that I got and the mindset to understand blockchain technology. So all right, sometimes you got to choose, and maybe you don't.
I feel that, bro. I feel that, bro.
I'm about to go buy some Dapper Dan right now. But I think that's all we have. And 19 keys. I swear I didn't plan this. You won the show with 19 points. And at the end of the episode, you get the most points. You get about 30 seconds. Feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts.
Listen, man, the one way I look at the Web3 space is I call it the owner net. You understand me? We went from just entering the net where we don't actually own the things that we put on there, our intellectual property. It's kind of like stepping into a bad contract. Yes, social media allowed us to be able to build our platforms, but we don't actually get to own the IP and or control it. The best thing you can do during this time, regardless of whatever market you in, is get your education. And listen, I wanted an educator, so make sure y'all can find me at 19 Keys on YouTube and find me at 19 Keys on IG. But make sure you get your education so that you can win regardless of what's up or down.
I love that.
Love that.
Yeah. Make sure you're following all his socials: 19 Keys, Miss Teen Crypto, Nerdgrl, and of course all the channel stuff here. Follow, hit that like button, follow all the socials, and make sure, stay tuned. Frankie Candle's about to go live in about 5 minutes or so. Link is going to be in the description. That's all we got time for today.
Oh, I'll see you at InvestFest, big boy.
Yeah, I'll see you there, man. I'm excited. Yeah.
We just sold out tickets, so it's not a promo. You can't come no more.
Yeah, but maybe we'll see you there too. Bye-bye, viewer.
I'm definitely going to be on there.